And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. I'm sure you all have heard that LeBron James, the Duck, the Deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 Kingdom, has crossed over into the 50,000 points for his NBA career. And to that, I say, who cares? I don't think it matters that much, and I will explain why later. But let me go ahead and tell you, LeBron James fanboys, go ahead and click off the video. You're not going to like what I have to say in this, so you've been warned. So LeBron James gets to 50,000 points, and on cue, we see mainstream media breaking out the knee pads to praise LeBron James for the 50,000 points, and to overblow the 50,000 points is just yet another thing that's going to happen when you've been milking the NBA for as long as LeBron James has. But I was watching ESPN, and I saw a segment with Stephen A. Smith and Brian Windhorst. And Stephen A. Smith was basically saying, you know, LeBron James is the GOAT of longevity. Michael Jordan is the greatest player at his peak, but LeBron James is the GOAT of longevity, which I firmly disagree with. But anyway, without further ado, let's check out these clips, and then we'll come back and talk about it after that. This first clip is Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A., your reaction to LeBron James putting up 50K?
Well, it's a phenomenal feat. It's never been done. The man is absolutely sensational. He's on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. I saw Wendy talking on Get Up this morning, and I've decided that, you know, on this particular morning, I'm going to make some news. I know, and we all know, I'm putting nobody ahead of Michael Jordan. Nobody. Okay? And I stand on it.
Come on, listen to this.
Because my definition of the GOAT is you at your best against anybody else at their best. What did it equal? But in listening to Brian Windhorst bringing up this nugget, there's nobody who has been as good for as long, meaning longevity, a sustained level of pristine excellence. LeBron James is the GOAT in that category.
Okay. So here we go again, people. Here we go back to the longevity talk. And every single time LeBron James makes some kind of milestone in longevity, you can rest assured that these talks will come back up again. But before we get into some other stuff, let me say this. Fanboys, this is for you in particular. Let me explain to you why this whole longevity thing in sports doesn't matter, aside from the fact that this is never how we measured the greatest of all time. Longevity was not the thing. Again, Kareem had the scoring record for years and years, and it was never used as a case to make him the GOAT. No one ever said Kareem was the GOAT because of this. But this is why the longevity thing it doesn't matter. So, for those of you who played basketball, it doesn't matter, but more specifically, let's just say those of you who played street ball. And, you know, you may have played high school ball, you may have played college ball as well, but I would imagine that if you've played those, that you've participated in street ball as well. When you go to the court as a competitor, your thing is I'm trying to beat you. You're trying to beat the opposition. When you trash talk, you're talking about you can't stop me. I'm going to score on you this way. You can't score on me. I'm going to dunk on you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. What you are trying to prove is that right now in this moment, I am better than you. And tomorrow when I show back up to this court, I'm going to be trying to prove the same thing, that I am better than you. This is what's important, is that you understand that between us two competitors, I am the better one. I'm the one who's going to come out on top. I'm the one who is going to win every time. This is what you are trying to establish as a competitor in the game of basketball. Let me tell you what you don't go up and say. Let me tell you what kind of trash talk you won't hear. You won't hear this. When you step on a basketball court, you won't hear this. Hey, man, I bet I'm going to be playing 20 years from now, and you're going to have to stop after 10 years. I bet your body won't hold up to play more than 10 years. I work out every day. I bet I'm going to be on this court for the next 20 to 30 years, and you're going to have to stop playing after 10 years. This is what you won't hear. Because the longevity doesn't matter. Fanboys, I know I just really hurt your feelings. I know. It's okay. Go ahead and cry in the corner. We all don't care. But this is just common sense. When we are talking about sports and we are talking about the greatest to ever play, we are talking about who was the best at their best. It is that simple. Who was the best at their best? This is what we want to know. This is what we want to know is when you're at your best and this player's at their best, who would win? This is what we want to know. We don't care that LeBron James has been playing 22 years. We don't care that the fact that Luka has joined the Lakers, and now that has possibly extended LeBron James' career. He might decide to stick around for another 2 or 3 years and reach 55,000 points or something. It doesn't matter. We are talking about how good of a player LeBron James isn't or is. And this is what matters. So again, fanboys, and even the fact that we're having to try to counteract this longevity debate is just yet another example of how LeBron James can't hold up to the original standards of sports, to the original standards of basketball. It's yet another example for LeBron James to be considered as great as they say he is. They have to change the standards of what is great. They can't just go by the standards that every other superstar before LeBron James had to follow. In order for LeBron James to be considered as great as they say he is, they have to change the standards. This is yet another example. Now, so let's get into this clip with Brian Windhorst. And we all know that he's a super capper for LeBron. He's a platinum CFL member.
So when I watched The Last Dance, which we all did, incredible piece of art, there's this scene where Michael...
Hold up, I'm gonna start this clip over. But I just want you all to pay attention to how he just tried to frame The Last Dance as an incredible piece of art. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that seemed like that was trying to be a potential slight to The Last Dance, but basically saying, oh, it's not a documentary on Michael Jordan. It's just some art that Michael Jordan got to paint himself in a way that looks good. Whatever you think about The Last Dance, the things that happen in it are true. The Chicago Bulls are 6-0. Michael Jordan is the greatest scorer to ever play the game. Michael Jordan did go through those the turmoil with the bad boy Pistons. Scottie Pippen did refuse to go in the game because Phil Jackson wanted Tony Kukoc to take the last shot. no matter what you feel about The Last Dance, the things that happened in The Last Dance are true. So, but yeah, I just thought that's interesting how Brian Windhorst, Platinum CFL member, tried to, you know, throw that in there as a incredible piece of art. You know, let me know in the comments if you guys feel the same way, that he was kind of trying to be dismissive of the credibility of The Last Dance with that comment. But anyway, let's listen to this clip.
So when I watched The Last Dance, which we all did, incredible piece of art. There's this scene where Michael Jordan is laying in a hotel. He's laying on a couch in a hotel. And he's basically telling the filmmaker, the cameraman, "I'm retiring after this year because I can't take this. I am mentally and physically wiped. I just can't do it anymore." And that's what happened. He won the title, the 6th title in 8 years, and he did retire again. He came back a few years later with the Wizards, but he did retire. And that was the moment when I watched that, when I understood where LeBron's path and Jordan's path are different. Because while I can't compare what Jordan dealt with, especially with the loss of his father in the middle of his career, with what LeBron has dealt with, what LeBron gets knocked for is that he's had these 6 losses in the finals. They say, well, Jordan was 6-0, LeBron is 4-6.
Correct.
But LeBron has always picked himself back up, kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going. Repeatedly rebuilt his team, picked it back up. If this team that the Lakers have right now makes to the finals, and I'm not favoring that, but I'm telling you that every day that goes by, it becomes a little bit more of a possibility.
Without question, undeniable.
That would be a 5th different iteration of a team that LeBron would take to the finals. Because you got the first time in Cleveland, you got the Heat, you got the second time in Cleveland, you got the Lakers, and this would be the 5th different iteration. Can you imagine taking 5 different teams when they were nothing? I mean, the Heat had something going, they had Dwayne Wade, but they were not a serious contender. Would be able to do that? And that is his case. That is his case. His case is not that he was better than Jordan at their peak, because I don't think that's an argument.
It isn't. No, it isn't.
And if that's the argument that people want to have, the argument is the breadth of it.
Right.
And that was true 3-4 years ago, but it's really getting made now in year 22.
Okay, so here we go again, my people. Here we go with them trying to dismiss the 6 finals losses. And as you heard, Brian Windhorst, his reasoning is that, well, basically, hey, Michael Jordan took a break in the middle. This is what he was getting at, you know, and he said, yeah, his father was murdered, and I'm not trying to compare LeBron James' situation to that, but, you know, he's basically trying to insinuate that, but LeBron hasn't taken a break. He's went back to back to back to back, and each time he picked himself back up, and this is what this is what makes LeBron James so great. And a matter of fact, they go on to talk about the fact that he says LeBron James' 6 finals losses is actually additive to his resume. Instead of taking away, it actually adds. So let's address that part first. No matter what you LeBron James fanboys and people in the mainstream media, no matter what you guys want to say, no matter how you guys want to cap for your king and say, well, Michael Jordan had a break. Here's the facts. Michael Jordan's father was murdered. That is a fact. Now, some people tend to think that he was forced out of the league for a reason, but at the end of the day, that is hearsay. There's no proof that Michael Jordan was forced out of the league. There is a fact that his father was murdered. This is a fact. So again, Michael Jordan wasn't just taking a break. Now, but the other side of it is this: even when he retired the first time because of the murder of his father, even then, he had just three-peated. He had just three-peated. Another thing is Michael Jordan's first trip to the finals, he won. It took LeBron James 3 trips to the finals before he won one. Michael Jordan's first trip to the finals, he won and averaged over 11 assists per game. Michael Jordan, the scorer, Michael Jordan, who everybody wants to just put in a box as a scorer. Michael Jordan won his first finals with over 11 assists per game. And like I said, it took LeBron James 3 tries, but here's the deal. The second try is completely inexcusable because the second try was with the Miami super team that he put together. Now, if you listen to that clip, you heard Brian Windhorst try to just gloss over the fact that Miami Heat was a super team. He tried to dismiss all of these teams as if they weren't that good. And he said, oh yeah, well, except the Miami Heat had Dwayne Wade. What Brian Windhorst didn't say is that any championship team, anytime LeBron James has actually won the championship, it's because he had a super team. So he couldn't get it done without that. So, maybe LeBron James should have retired in the middle of his career. Maybe LeBron James should have retired and took a break. But at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is LeBron James he's not mentally tough. LeBron James hasn't spent his whole career making himself a better basketball player. Like in year 40, like I said, maybe you want to argue that he's become a better shooter, but I argue that the times are just getting easier to score. We're in the age of just jacking up 3-point shots and whatnot and being able to get to the rim pretty freely. So the fact that it took LeBron James this many years to improve in that category, to me, says a lot. Again, LeBron James has not spent his career trying to become a better basketball player. LeBron James has not spent his career trying to build something. Again, Brian Windhorst keeps talking about, this could be 5 different teams that he takes to the finals, if he gets there with Luka. 5 different iterations of teams, if he gets there with Luka. And again, the thing is LeBron James can only win through stacking the deck in his favor. This is what none of them will say. This is what none of the mainstream media will say, is that LeBron James can only win by stacking the deck in his favor. This is how he wins. He doesn't win through perseverance. He doesn't win through sticking it out with one team. With Dwayne Wade, again, after they got the back-to-back, when Dwayne Wade's power started to diminish, LeBron James flies the coop. When in 1998, when Scottie Pippen was a shell of himself, we still saw Michael Jordan carry the load for the Chicago Bulls to win their 6th championship. So again, no matter how you try to slice it, this comes down to LeBron James not being the player that you all keep trying to say he is. This comes down to the fact that we keep talking about things for LeBron James that we haven't had to talk about for any other superstar. This comes down to the fact that you guys are trying to now insert a standard of longevity to make a GOAT case when that has never been the case before. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to say this one more time for you LeBron James fanboys. I know this truly hurts your heart and your soul and your mind to hear this. But let me say this one more time for you guys. When you step onto the basketball court, you are trying to prove that you are the best, that you are better than your competitor, that you can beat your competitor. You are trying to prove that you can score on your competitor. You are trying to prove that your competitor can't score on you. You are trying to prove that you can dominate your competitor because you are trying to prove who is the best right now in this moment. And tomorrow and the next day. You are not stepping onto the court saying, hey, I bet I'm going to be playing 20 years from now and your body's going to give out after 10. This is not the bragging rights that you're trying to get in sports. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about Stephen A. trying to say LeBron James is the GOAT of longevity? Again, which that is false. Not to mention, we're not even talking about the fact that LeBron James' longevity itself is very suspicious. And you guys know what I mean. It's very suspicious. When we're talking about the juice, when we're talking about the fact that he stopped playing defense, like when you are not going full throttle your whole career to get the most out of a shorter amount of time, and your way of getting longevity is potentially the juice, and it's definitely you not playing defense so that you can preserve yourself. This is not true longevity. And especially this is not true longevity when you're trying to compare to Michael Jordan, who was always going full throttle, who didn't know how to do anything else, who felt it was an obligation to the fans to give his best all the time, who felt it was an obligation to the sport, to the game that he loved so much, to give his best all the time, who felt it was his obligation as an elder player when he came back to the Wizards to set an example for the younger guys on the team and show, hey, this is what you do. When they're saying that he's still the first one in the gym, when they're saying he still played 82 games as a 40-year-old. This is Michael Jordan. This is real longevity. Real longevity is when you are actually giving your all for the full duration of however long you are in the league. Not when you're doing stuff to potentially enhance yourself, and definitely not when you're doing stuff to conserve yourself so that you can drag out your career. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about what Stephen A. Smith said. Let me know what you guys think about what Platinum member, CFL member Brian Windhorst had to say. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.